You said you think the King of the Ring is going after Roman Reigns. I said the King of the Ring is going after Cody Rhodes. Either way, Andy, it probably doesn't matter, because let's circle back to how we started this. The seeds that were planted at Clash in Italy, seemingly for Crown Jewel, champion versus champion, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Obviously, things can happen. Obviously, somebody gets hurt. Heaven forbid. Obviously, there's momentum and we could see a quick trigger pulled and somebody else wins a championship. Okay, fine. Okay, but let's just play this out for a minute, Andy. Okay, let's look at the King of the Ring men's bracket, since you're picking one side and I'm picking the other. As you look at this bracket right now, I think I know who your pick is, but who's your pick to win the King of the Ring?
My pick to win the King of the Ring is Seth Rollins.
Okay.
I think Seth wins it. I think it comes down. I mean, listen, I think the smart decision, the best decision is to have Oba win it. But I think Brock's probably going to return and cost Oba in the semifinals or something. I really think they're probably, I mean, out of everybody else that is on the roster and everybody that's in this tournament, which, by the way, I don't know if Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre are in this thing or they're not in this thing or what is happening.
This graphic that's on the screen is the original graphic.
Did you see that, though? They put up the one with Drew and Sami?
No, because I didn't watch Raw live.
Okay.
So when I went back and watched it, I'm sure they edited it out and covered it up.
Yeah, because then, like, Tala Tonga wasn't in it because they took him out. And then all of a sudden, like, they do the match graphic for next week and he's in it. And I'm going, wait a minute. Something's wrong. Somebody got something messed up somewhere. I don't know. I think Seth makes the most sense. I think Oba makes the most sense, but he's got other stuff to do. I think it's either got to be Seth. I don't think it's Braun Breaker anymore. I think Braun's push is kind of falling down quick. I don't know who else you put.
Okay. The other one is Jey Uso. So here's the way you do that. Look at what Roman Reigns said to Jey Uso. But I think Seth and Jey are the two challengers for SummerSlam. And I think you can get to both of those without them winning King of the Ring. So I think either one that wins it, fine, you can get to it the other way. Here's why I say that. Look back at what Roman Reigns said to Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw. Hey, you've never held that other championship. Won't you focus on going to get that other championship? Of course, being held by Cody Rhodes. So Andy, he also said there's room at the other head of the table for Jey to sit with him. That'd be a difference in previous Roman versus new Roman. But if Jey goes out and wins King of the Ring, then he is the last one, with the exception of LA Knight, from the WrestleMania 40 picture that hasn't turned on Cody Rhodes. So Andy, you look at that, and if you're wanting to bring back old Roman Reigns, you say that Roman is trying to get Jey to beat Cody so he doesn't have to face Cody at Crown Jewel based on this interaction. So you go down that route. Well, guess what, Andy? Let me circle it back around to what we were talking about. If Jey loses to Cody, Roman's disappointed, right? The flip side of that is if he loses to Seth Rollins, which would be in the semifinals, and your prediction of Seth Rollins winning comes true, well, Roman doesn't want to face him either, so he's still disappointed in Jey. Well, Andy, doesn't that move Jey down the pecking order in the bloodline and Jacob up a little bit? The person that Jey and Jacob, they're having this tension. So you could see Jacob move up a little bit, and there's that inner turmoil.
Yeah. I see that, and I see where you're heading with it and you're going with it. But again, I don't think Cody Jey is a good enough or a big enough match for SummerSlam.
It won't be the main event, because Roman will main event one night and Brock will main event the other night. So throw that out the way.
Yeah, but again, I don't think Jey is a good enough opponent for Cody for SummerSlam, period. Like, whether it's to start off the show, whether it's the main event of the show, whatever. I don't know. I think the Jey Uso experiment has kind of fallen a lot. I'm not saying it's completely dead because he's still popular. His music
Right.
still hits. He still gets yeets. Still sells merch. All of that stuff. Um, I think the more interesting story would be like Jey loses in the opening round. Like he just not only loses, he gets pinned in the opening round, and he's still trying to build himself back up to Roman. Like Roman can come out and say, "I thought you were a different Jey Uso. I guess you're not. You're still the same old, same old." Like I
Mm.
think that is adding more intrigue to it than just kind of pigeonholing Jey Uso into this. But then again, like I think out of everybody in the tournament outside of Oba, I think Seth is probably the one that's most deserving and kind of needs it the most.
Hmm.
Like Seth needs to win King of the Ring. He has done nothing of note the last couple of years outside of winning main event of WrestleMania 41 night one. And really, the only thing people remember coming out of that is Paul Heyman aligning with Seth, not even necessarily that Seth won. So I think Seth needs to win King of the Ring. I think there's a good chance if he wins King of the Ring, he might end up beating Roman at SummerSlam because then again, Cody Seth, like that's a matchup that is always you can go back to at some point.
Right.
So
Which
I
we
just
saw last year. We saw last year at Crown Jewel where Seth won the
yeah
Crown Jewel Championship.
yeah. So I think there's a good chance that Seth just runs the table, that he becomes king of the ring, and that he goes after Cody. I think there's also a chance that like Jey could just be the bulldog idiot Jey that he is right now and like cost Cody or attack Cody or just go crazy and go after
Mhm.
Cody and then you can set up a match that way.
Agreed.
I don't think Jey needs to win King of the Ring.
Agreed. No, I definitely agree. And then you could make the argument that Seth, all of your arguments for Seth are very valid. I am playing the hypothetical. You can make an argument. Look, we talked about planting seeds. Who stared down Roman Reigns right after WrestleMania backstage? Seth Rollins did.
Yeah.
So you've planted that seed. That's something you can always go back to. You don't even have to build it. You just put their faces on a graphic and say they're wrestling at SummerSlam and nobody's batting an eye. That's a match we all want to see.
Yeah.
So you can make the argument that Seth doesn't need to win. You can make the argument that Jey doesn't need to win. Either way, I think it's those two because I think the Jey winning or Jey losing rather continues the layers of the bloodline, continues this tension between Jacob and Jey, which I was saying earlier, that gives you something for Jacob. That's another part of this bloodline that is different than before because Andy, we saw the tension of everybody kind of leaving Sammy out for a little bit. And sometimes we saw the Usos and Roman butt heads a little bit, but never until the bloodline was splitting up did we see actual tension like Roman having to hold guys off from each other or, whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something that's built with Jacob and with Jey. Who knows where Jimmy fits into it, all that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of different ways you can go here, but I think Crown Jewel is the perfect spot for Cody Roman 3. I know that the story doesn't mean as much, and I know that the win by either guy won't mean as much, but I think it's the perfect excuse to have part 3 because nobody gets hurt by it. And you find it might be dragging through mud to get us there, but they've planted this seed. I just can't see them going away from it.
Yeah, and you're probably right. Like I don't see a good chance of them going away from it either. And I think you're right. Like it's no matter who wins, whoever loses more than likely is not going to get affected. I think there's some scenarios where it could be really like you would have to go out of your way to make it happen like that. But bloodline interference, all that stuff, recall in WrestleMania 39 inning and all that. Like I just at this time it needs to just straight up be Cody versus Roman if we're going to do it.
That's a Roman thing too. Look, in the 3 matches that he's wrestled, singles matches that he's been back, how much interference has there been?
None. None at the show. Now going into the show.
None during the match. No.
Yeah.
None during the match. On his own.
Yeah. So I think this is the time to do it. This is the way to do it. I just hope we get to a point with Roman where we actually get to see Roman without the bloodline, or
Mm.
like without his family, where like the family is not even on his mind. He's
Listen,
focused on everything else.
I hate to break it to you, Andy. There's a match coming up in November that is the
Yeah.
Bloodline staple, just like it was the Undisputed Era's staple.
Yeah,
And
I
you
know.
better believe Roman, Jimmy, Jey, Jacob, and somebody else is going to be right there in it.
That's fine if they're in it. Just for the love of everything, don't have Solo and the MFTs on the other side.